Millions of dollars which America's corporations lose to the industrial spy each year are going to remain untold. Companies don't like it known that they steal secrets or that their own secrets get stolen. Stockholders wouldn't approve of that. It would not enhance the corporate image. But the activity in industrial espionage around the Bay Area and in other major business centers is astounding. For the next 3 nights, we'll look at the tools and techniques of the white-collar spy. On Wednesday night, we'll see computers stealing from computers. Tomorrow night, you'll meet an expert who learned his craft of debugging by becoming one of the better electronic eavesdroppers around. Tonight, though, the battle between those who bug and those who debug. The electronic bugs, by the way, you'll see here, were once for real. But because the laws against possession of live bugs are unforgiving and unrelenting, let me make it perfectly clear that the bugs seen herein have all been disabled. So now, part 1 of our sanitized but factual special report of the white-collar spy. This is a bug, a self-contained, battery-powered microphone and FM transmitter. For 48 hours, it'll pick up whatever it hears and broadcast it to a hidden tape recorder as far as 2 blocks away. It costs $40 to bill. It earns this man a profitable and risky living. But he is not your usual break-and-enter criminal. He's not after money in the company's safe. This intruder came for something much more valuable. Information. He looks carefully but quickly around the conference room in this dramatization, seeking a safe but efficient place to hide the bug. The secrets it will collect can give this man's employer, another company, a highly lucrative edge in the marketplace. So the competition is paying this trespasser well for his work. You'd never know it. Personally, he's a rather obscure fellow, more wrapped up in his skill with electronics than he is with people or the world around him. Next to getting caught, his greatest nemesis is Leo Jones. The illegal eavesdropper has made Leo Jones a successful businessman. Jones's Sabre Electronics in San Francisco manufactures and distributes countermeasure devices. They are the highly sophisticated tools which seek out and locate bugs. And with today's technology, that continually gets tougher.
When the advent of the transistor came on the market, permitting equipment to be made very small and very cheap, the countermeasure business came into play because these devices were being found in hotel rooms where executives were meeting. They're found in boardrooms, the executives' homes, and as a result, very exotic equipment has been developed.
It's like Vietnam. This war escalates too. For every countermeasure, there is a countermeasure. But however sophisticated, the bug has to take up space. So in sweeping the conference room, the countermeasure expert will usually start with a physical search. Looking and feeling around, and knowing how to, may uncover something. A favorite target for the eavesdropper is a speakerphone. By nature, it's a microphone. It can be rigged to pick up everything in the room at all times, even when the phone is hung up. An RF detector is one of the most reliable pieces of heavy artillery in the countermeasure expert's arsenal. It picks up radio frequencies and hears the hidden transmitter as it's operating.
As the detection devices become more sophisticated, it requires the eavesdropper to develop or try to develop their equipment so that it cannot be countermeasured initially. However, so far, the countermeasure business has stayed on top.
Actually, if you want to eavesdrop on somebody, you don't need a lot of expensive equipment, nor an expensive operative to do the job for you. This one will do it. It's a completely self-contained microphone, transmitter, and antenna, all for $14.95, and it'll transmit a conversation from one house to the other. And you can buy it through the mail, advertised monthly in a major national magazine. For $14.95, it is yours, and if you use it illegally and get caught, what will also be yours is a $10,000 fine and 5 years in prison.
It seems to me that companies have to be awfully paranoid to bring in a counter-espionage agent. Is
that's
really
something they also don't tell stockholders.
Is it commonplace, really, that they do this?
Yes, it is. And although, as you'll find out tomorrow night, companies are paranoid about it, and individuals as well, but in only about 5% of the cases are bugs actually found.
Has anybody ever gone to trial? Has anybody ever
No,
been caught
again,
at
the
this?
companies want to keep it secret, and so they don't want it to get into the public courts where it'll get into the public press. Perhaps one of the most interesting evolutions of that kind of operation is what happened in Los Angeles with a fellow who programmed a telephone company's computer down there to feed him their equipment. He amassed better than $500,000 of equipment, and on the side set up his own telephone consulting firm selling that equipment to his clients. When the telephone company found out what he was doing, They didn't take him to court. They hired him to fix their computers so nobody could do that again. And the garbage an unsuspecting company or person throws away can become a valuable resource for the industrial spy. The stuff they don't keep can be very revealing. I tested that theory in the trash bins of Oakland City Hall. They weren't very full, but in 10 minutes, my attack yielded a $150,000 federal grant application. I also uncovered the financial statement of the Oakland Scavenger Company, showing December 1974 assets of $11,694,378.82. The professional in industrial espionage usually employs more exotic techniques, like a highly directional microphone, which can pick up a conversation up to a half a mile away. Having the microphone is not against the law, but using it to eavesdrop is. At the other end of the scale is this, also a microphone. It can be just as deadly a tool in divulging secrets once a bugging expert has wired it to a small recorder or transmitter, then hidden it away in a not-so-obvious place. Illegal, but done. With a court order, the federal government can wiretap a suspect's telephone. The U.S. Attorney says about 15 taps have been placed on Bay Area phones in the last 12 months. But there's a funny thing about bugs and wiretaps. Most of the time, people think they're there when they're not. How often do you find a bug?
Approximately 5% of the searches that I make.
The Thorson Tool Company hasn't been here for years, but one man is, and he prefers the anonymity. Ralph Birchie is a security consultant, a business in which you don't advertise. Companies and people don't want it known they have been bugged or that they have hired Ralph Birchie to debug them. The same goes for clients who are suspects and may be under electronic surveillance by the authorities. But is Birchie concerned that finding a bug might block government prosecution?
No, not really. They're playing the game the same as I am, and I feel that if I do uncover a wiretap or bug, which I have done, which they will never, of course, admit to it, but was placed by some law enforcement agency, that maybe that will improve their expertise the next time around.
Do you make moral judgments in cases that you get involved in and with clients?
Of course I make moral judgments. I generally keep them to myself. My client is very rarely interested in my moral judgment, and my judgment doesn't contribute to the service I perform. So it's a secret thing.
Ralph Birchie proves that it takes one to know one. For 12 years, he made a reputation as a bugging expert for the famed San Francisco investigator Hal Lipsett. Then the laws tightened up on electronic eavesdropping. Birchie went independent and now has made an equally high reputation as a debugging expert. Investigators or attorneys screen his clients first, then send them to him. Even though debugging is entirely legal, that referral process assures the client the secrecy he wants and keeps Birchie's profile low. That's good for everybody's business. But I found that locating somebody to do a bugging job is a lot less complicated. Among the dozens of private investigators in Bay Area phone books, I spoke with 5. I posed as the owner of a small electronics firm needing specific information about my competitor's operations. Of the 5 people I called, 2 reminded me it was illegal and said they weren't interested, but 3 investigators said they were. It's unlikely, but this ferry boat has been a prime target for industrial spies, but unsuccessfully. The secrets developed here have remained here. On this floating studio, ideas worth millions are conceived and created by Walter Landor and his team of 100. This is one of the world's leading design firms. Major companies come here for packaging, marketing, and image-making ideas, and they expect Landor to protect those ideas from their competitors and keep them secret until the product goes to market.
I don't think even a master detective like Hal Lipsett here in town could succeed in finding out what's going on here, unless he broke in, and then he wouldn't know what the score is because things are put away at night, and he wouldn't know whose product it is or what. It'd be very difficult. We keep all of the studios locked up in such a way that only people who work in the studios, the designers, are aware of what's going on.
To keep secret the packaging of a new beer in Spain, Landor spread the manufacture of the label, the cap and the seal, and the bottle itself worldwide. The elements were all produced separately in 4 different countries and never joined together until the first bottle of beer came off the production line in Spain. Of all of the targets for the industrial spy, this holds for our future the most frightening consequences. The computer is often defenseless against the criminal who wants to direct computer-controlled information, money, or equipment his way. That's because the computer was designed to be operated by honest people. So, Bob Abbott has become a full-time computer thief. That's the role he and his 20-man team play at the world's largest computer operation, the Lawrence Livermore Laboratory. Their mission is to attack and destroy the honest but vulnerable programs of the federal government's computers, to show the people who operate them how illegal access to a computer's program can be sealed off. The Abbott Strike Force has modified its computers to steal from other computers' unsuspecting programs.
The programs may be 2 million to 10 million lines of code each, and so we have used a graphical display to aid us in finding the control points where the program may switch and go down a different path based on decisions that the computer is making. And if we can force it to make decisions that it doesn't normally want to make, then we win in the game of trying to attack the computer.
Bob Abbott says security measures are being built into the new computers, but the old and unprotected ones will be around a while, except for those Abbott's team has made impregnable. Still, the target it offers the criminal is a big one.
As far as I know, organized crime certainly has begun to use computers. It would be a logical step if they have not already, considered such use, that they probably will. But as I say, I believe the defense mechanisms that are on the drawing board today will go a long way towards thwarting any such attack by organized crime.
The computer tape storage rooms of our society hold enormous power and wealth. Its potential for criminal manipulation is a very real fact of life. Can our technological excellence keep it in check? The question is disquieting.